This September is a bit of a mixed bag for Mac gaming. We've got some heavy hitters dropping this month, as well as some very interesting indie darlings. This September is sure to have a Mac release for everyone. Let's dive right in. And interestingly enough, all the worthwhile releases seem to be bundled into the second half of the month. First, we've got Lies of P releasing on September the 19th. Now, interestingly, this one is actually dropping on the Mac App Store and will not be available for Mac users on Steam at launch. In case you haven't heard of this hotly anticipated game, you play Pinocchio in an alternate universe, Souls-like game, where you have to traverse through a Belle Epoque era, very reminiscent of Renaissance France, to try and solve a mystery befalling the city that it takes place in. Honestly, this game looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm thrilled it's coming to Mac. Hopefully we'll get a Steam release soon. Number 2 on the list is Baldur's Gate 3. After seeing an incredibly successful PC and console release, Mac gamers are at the end of the queue, but we are just glad that we're getting it. The game already runs at between 25 to 30 frames when using the Wine emulator, so hopefully the native version will bring us significant improvements in visuals as well as performance. Next on the list is actually a DLC for Humankind. The Cultures of Oceania DLC brings representation for 6 South Pacific cultures into the game, including the Pana Nyungan, sorry if I butchered that, Polynesians, Rapa Nui, the Maori, Hawaiians, and New Zealanders. If you're a fan of the 4X tile-based games like Civilization and Humankind, this is an interesting one to pick up. It's worth noting that Humankind is currently on sale on Steam as of the publishing of this video, so if that's something that's been interesting for you, go ahead and pick it up. Number 4 on the list is indie game Moonstone Island. Moonstone Island is what you would get if you decided to merge Pokemon, Stardew Valley, and Zelda, and then some little extra thrown in on the side. The game is a monster collecting life sim set in an open world. There are over 100 islands to explore, and you get all of the fun benefits of the Stardew Valley experience with the exploration and puzzle solving of Zelda. There's farming, there's vehicles, there's flying, there's combat. There really is something for everyone in this incredibly cute and relaxing life sim. It's available on Steam and launches 21st September. Are you going to be checking this one out? Now, the next 2 indies on this list are available for Mac. However, on their Steam listing, it indicates that they will not work on Mac OS 10.15 Catalina or above. This is because Mac has dropped 32-bit support from 10.15 onwards, and it looks like these games are published in 32-bit format. If you are interested in having these games available to 64-bit Macs, please go ahead and message the developers, as it shouldn't be too difficult for them to release a 64-bit version. And hopefully, if they get enough interest from us, they will do that. Having said that, the next game on our list is Minicos Night Market. Like Moonstone Island, this is a very hotly anticipated indie game. And like Moonstone Island, it is also a life sim. However, in Minicos Night Market, you play as the titular Minico, a curious girl who's just arrived in her new home on a struggling Japanese-inspired island at the base of Mount Fugu. I wonder inspired by what? In the game, you learn about the locals, discover the secrets behind the town, and try and restore the struggling village to its former glory. All while managing your daily activities, completing various jobs, and of course, crafting items in preparation for the weekly night market. The game looks incredibly cute, has an interesting exploration of Japanese culture and history, and of course, has lots of cats. There's loads of mini-games, puzzles to solve, even the occasional sneak section. This looks like another interesting game coming to Mac, and as I mentioned earlier, it would be great if we could get 64-bit support for this. This last one is something that I found while digging through the Steam releases that looks interesting. The description says that it's inspired by real events. In the game, you play a judge in a scenario not that different from Papers, Please. You're in a position of power and you need to make important decisions impacting the plaintiffs in front of you. You also seem to be able to get into murder scenes and investigation scenes and whatnot, and all in all, looks like it could be an interesting game if executed properly. Like the previous one, the Steam system requirements show that you need OSX Mavericks 10.9, and it's showing Intel-based hardware. But again, I don't know how difficult it would be to get them to put out a 64-bit version to work with newer Macs. If this is interesting for you, go ahead and contact the developers. If they get enough interest, they might put out a version for the rest of us. And with that, those are the worthwhile Mac releases for the month of September. Are there any in there that you found interesting? Any that you're going to pick up? Please let us know in the comment section below. And if there's any that you'd like to see a particular review on, please do let us know. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.